As the United Kingdom seems to be making strides in stopping striking workers, the same cannot be said for the United States. Actors Cillian Murphy, Matt Damon, and Emily Blunt walked out of the premiere of Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer in London on Thursday night as the Actors Union declared a strike. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists President Fran Drescher announced in an impassioned speech during a press conference in Los Angeles that the union will go on strike. Promotional events such as red carpet premieres will also be affected. Events including the Emmys and Comic-Con may be rescheduled or scaled back. There is more in the following reports.
Another Hollywood union has voted to go on strike. Support for the strikers is abundant, and the resistance is about to grow in size. Hollywood's writers, who have been stepping this pavement for 2 months now, are being joined by the actors who will rejuvenate their words. A dual strike hasn't happened since 1960. It is definitely going to bring the TV and film industry to a standstill. Negotiations with production companies broke down over royalty payments, which actors say are pitiful. They also fear the rise of artificial intelligence taking away jobs. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, announced on Thursday that they will go on strike beginning at midnight.
But this groundbreaking AI proposal that they gave us yesterday, in that groundbreaking AI proposal, they proposed that our background performers should be able to be scanned, get paid for 1 day's pay, and their companies should own that scan, their image, their likeness, and should be able to use it for the rest of eternity in any project they want with no consent and no compensation. So if you think that's a groundbreaking proposal, I suggest you think again.
The National Board voted that union members should withhold their labor as the union's contract with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers expired at midnight Thursday.
Well, you know, initially we started kind of on the outside. They weren't really ready to get to the core issues, and we were encouraged, quite frankly. But we didn't realize that that was where it ended, where it began and ended. And all the core ingredients, you know, we were basically either stonewalled or we're so far apart that, you know, it was just, and in earnest, we gave them an extension of 12 days, which they absolutely wasted, making us feel like we've been duped, like maybe it was just to let studios promote their summer movies another 12 days. They stayed locked behind closed doors. They continued to cancel our meetings with them.
At the Oppenheimer premiere in London, actors like Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt walked out as news of the strike was confirmed. The traditional production studios and streaming giants like Netflix and Amazon say that they have put a fair deal on the table and the actors' demands were unrealistic. The two sides now seem further away than ever. Hollywood is still recovering from the pandemic and an economic crisis. It will now be a case of who blinks first.
For joining us to discuss the biggest strike Hollywood has seen since 1960 is the president, the movement Pro Pictures, Ibidola Kwajayi. Thank you for joining us on The World Now. Well, this is Hollywood's biggest shutdown in about 60 years. Talk us through the reasons for the strike.
Well, thank you for having me. And yes, indeed, it's the first time since 1960 that we're seeing a joint strike between the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild. And this really has major impacts, especially on the studios and the streaming platforms that uses the services of actors. Basically, this means that the actors cannot participate in any of the productions that are currently ongoing, and any planned production. They cannot participate either for any studio or for any of the streaming giants. And that really means that there's going to be shortage of content in the industry. And what this tells me is that it potentially opens an opportunity for other industries around the world to provide this content. But there are far-reaching issues that needs to be addressed because the actors are concerned, especially about the emergence of artificial intelligence. in the industry, whereby their images are being used to make profit. So especially for the background actors, those that do not necessarily get the kind of compensation that they should. So those are the things that are on the table. And right now, the SAG is saying that as at this year, people are going to make less money than they did in 2020. So there are a lot of issues on the table, and I'm not sure how this is going to be resolved because, just like you said, the two parties are a little bit far apart from each other.
Indeed, and as it is, some well-loved, movies such as Avatar and Gladiator are likely to be affected by this picketing. I'm just wondering what's, the viewing public, how they're going to react to this now. But let's talk about the issue of artificial intelligence. Many say it's a blessing, but others will tell you, hey, it's appears AI is out to take our jobs and we're not having it. What's your take on that?
It's a concern because at the end of the day, we're seeing that AI is affecting all aspects of life as we live in that right now. And for the creative industry, when your image is easily, recreated and, they make your image do whatever they like without your input, that's a concern, So it's a very valid concern. I side with the Screen Actors Guild on that. I feel like there has to be more understanding around how they plan to use these images and what compensation will come back to the actors when they do.
All right, but then what would you say about how this matter is being handled by the authorities?
Well, I mean, it's a free market here in the United States. So again, where you have labor unions that represent over 160,000 people that make their living in the Hollywood industry, they have every right to stand up for their members because this is what people do to survive, to put food on the table for their families. So, but the people that really control or how all that works are the studios. The MPTP, they wield the power. They are the ones that pay they pay the big ticket. So it's a tough one because they will suffer it because if they're not able to produce these feature films, these shows that they would like to put forward to their audiences, it's going to be a problem. So I feel like they will come together at some point. There will be some cooling period, and then they will come back to the table and find a deal that works for everybody. But the MPTP do have the higher hand in this. But again, they cannot do what they want to do. They cannot produce anything without the Actors Guild. So there has to be some on the line.
All right. Well, first it was the Writers Guild, and now it's the Screen Actors Guild. We hope they reach a midpoint because movie lovers are watching all that's going on, and they just can't wait to have all of their movies back, really. President, the movement Pro Pictures, Ibidolakwa joined us from Texas in the U.S. Thank you for talking to us on The World Now.
Thank you for having me.